up, you beautiful collectors and action figure fans? It's the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Sideshow Collectibles VOLTRON Maquette. Going way back to the original days of Voltron and even the new series, I am a huge fan of the franchise. And when I saw this, I want to say last year at San Diego Comic-Con, it was still in the gray model phase, but the look was absolutely gorgeous. Then over time, seeing more and more pictures, I just became more and more impressed. And then this past year, getting to see it in person at San Diego Comic-Con in the full color, I was absolutely blown away. And I honestly could not wait to get mine. It's an absolutely impressive piece that comes to you in a very impressive box. For the front, you can kind of see the sort of torso of Voltron. You got like his chest area with this emblem there at the top. You can see Voltron across in absolute vibrant colors. And then as you come to the side of it, one thing that I really like that they did was, as you can see, on this side, you get kind of a wire image of the blue lion. You come around to the back, and you can see the red and then the green. And then on the opposite side, you get the yellow lion. So each side of the package kind of features one of the actual lions itself, which is great. For me, one thing that I love about Voltron, especially in the new series, is that they all stand on their own. They're not just the sum of the whole, which I think is great. I mean, the original series kind of just made it all about Voltron. And one thing that I love that Sideshow has done is they really have given a lot of love and attention to each individual lion. Obviously, we'll take a look at that, and I'm spoiling a whole lot in this video. But for the packaging on this, that's about it. Internally, you have heavy-duty foam that fully encapsulates and protects the piece to ensure that when you get yours, it'll be ready to defend the universe. But for the packaging on this, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get this out here and see how cool it actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Voltron out of the package in unassembled. As you can see, he comes in several different pieces, but obviously since, you gotta form Voltron, I thought I would do it individually so that you could see all the different pieces. Now starting off first, here's his display stand, which is gorgeous. You can see absolutely incredible detail on there. A little dirty from some of the styrofoam, but you can see it kind of looks like the surface of like maybe a moon type of thing. Really cool. Got some nice kind of crater marks and things like that, and then you can actually see where his feet will indent. Now this is where the yellow lion will actually stand, and that's the one that has the peg, but you can see that the blue lion here sits here and it's indented as well, which looks terrific. I mean, they really didn't need to put that molded detail in there because he's going to be standing on it and you're not going to see underneath there, but that's great detail. The rest of it obviously looks really good. Nice paint variation on there. One thing I really do dig is you look around the side, you can see that there's numbers. You got 1, 2, obviously the 1 is done in black, the 2 is done in red, the 3 is done in green. This is also very heavy. The 4 is done in blue, and you guessed it, the 5 is done in yellow. And then you can see great tech detail around the actual sides, which look amazing. That goes all the way around. And then on the underside here, it's if it's not upside down, there you go. You can see you have that nice, Voltron text with the kind of crest of it. You can see that this is number 456 out of 1,000. And then, of course, you got the little pads on there that kind of elevate this and protect that. So, I mean, obviously, really very cool, but you gotta set this back because of how massive it is. And I'm gonna pull this whole thing forward so we can kind of assemble things as we go. Now, starting off first, taking a look at the yellow line, we're going to come from the bottom up. This is, like I said, the one that actually has the post. You can see that it extends down, but this is terrific detail. I want to come in nice and close so you can see that. So starting off first there, keep it kind of centered. Gorgeous detail in the face. You can see some nice eye detail in there as well. On the inside here, you can kind of see that there's little molded pieces on the inside of his mouth. But looking throughout the whole thing, obviously number 5 right there, great detail with some scuffing and some paint variation throughout the entire thing, giving it a very worn kind of look and very metallic still. Now this is, I believe, made out of polystone, so it's obviously a statue, so it's made out of kind of a rugged material that does give it some heft, but it's not metal. But it does kind of feel like there's some plastic involved in it as well, like the actual lion body kind of feels like it's a little bit plastic, but the rest of it has a very, I mean, you can hear like that, different sounds to it, but I love how they got the detail with the lion's legs. One thing that looks really cool, you look at the bottom and underneath here there's like pads on their feet, which is awesome. You got a big giant one right here for basically Voltron's heel, and then again on the back, great detail throughout even the internal parts. I mean, that is wicked awesome. You look on the side here and you can kind of see this kind of joint sort of thing that would articulate the foot of Voltron. Just staggering detail. I love it. It looks wonderful. You got some nice paint variation with some gold and such on there. I really am blown away by the overall detail that's in this. And like I said, each and every piece has that, and you would expect it because each piece does form, you know, one of the pieces for Voltron. And I love the fact, and I'm just trying to find the hole here, I love the fact that Sideshow went ahead and put that attention to detail in every single one of the actual lions. It just makes sense and it works beautifully. So as you can see, that actually locks down. Now taking a look at the blue lion, this has a little bit different of a look. It's similar, as most people know, but it does have a slightly different kind of look and feel to it. But again, great detail with the mouth and the head of the lion. You look at the internal details, and again, those kind of joints that it would have are all nicely replicated. You got the little pads here. I love also how it's offset. Like you can see this one here is shifted downwards, this one is shifted up a little bit more, as it's kind of pivoting and giving them a sense of balance, because as you can see, this leg is designed to be kind of like cockeyed. So it makes sense that these legs kind of adjust to that. And then again, great detail throughout the entire intersection. These arms have an amazing amount of paint wash on there, give it a very distressed and worn and metallic look. You look here in the front, and obviously like this is the little tail kind of thing that comes around. You got number 4. Just again, amazing amount of detail on this guy. I mean, I look at it and honestly I marvel. I know this is just sounding like I'm just gonna sit here and gush the whole time, but I really am impressed with this. The paint, the sculpting, everything just melds perfectly together. Now for this, literally all you do is you just kind of sit it in those little kind of indents. So that's really about it for that. Now coming to take a look at the main body, or the black lion, again, gorgeous detail, amazing weathering here in the legs. You can see some scorch marks going throughout in different areas. Great attention to detail in the kind of hip area. Nice paint variation and color thrown in there. You can see some pistons come around here to the back. You got like all these different layers of molded kind of, I don't even know what you call it. It's just like his waist area that flexes. You can see the black lion's tail comes up, kind of creates the spine. And then again, you look here down in the kind of knee area, amazing detail on that entire thing. You look in the back and you got little pistons right here. So as you plug this in, because as you can see, those has little posts, it kind of completes the look by having some extra added detail in there, giving it the illusion that it's a real working robot. Great paint with some red, very deep and just gorgeous red coloring there. Obviously, number 1. You look around the side here, again, great detail and some paint with some wear marks. You look at the torso bit, and this really does look nice. Now, this has a little bit more of a streamlined kind of look, very similar to how the new Voltron kind of looks, and I'm perfectly okay with it. The original was kind of clunky. This has a much more kind of a slender look to it, but I think it works nicely. Again, great detail throughout that whole piece. Some scorch marks, some battle marks, gorgeous crest piece right there. You look at the neck area, you can see you got those little sculpted in details that kind of look like a neck joint would move around there. You got some wire bits that come up with some nice blue paint on there. Just, again, gorgeous. Now to attach this, kind of have to stand up to be able to do it. You just come around here, and again, you slot it down into those little bits. This one here may be a little bit tricky because it does move, but kind of hold that and push that down, locking that into place. Okay, so spinning that around to take a look again, you can see that those bits that I was talking about connect with pieces on the blue and yellow line to create a uniformed piston look, which again, absolutely terrific. They did not miss out on anything. They really, it feels like they thought about every aspect when it comes to this. Now, coming up a little bit towards the top, we're going to attach the arms, and again, absolutely spectacular. I want to focus on this. Great detail on there as well. I mean, I love that. It's a little bit smaller, obviously, and it works as it's supposed to. You can see the legs, still amazing detail on there, and then you can see the whole joint system, and you get a little bit more of that kind of joint look here for the wrist area, I guess. Some nice battle scuffs on the entire thing. Now this one actually has a detachable mouth. It's magnetic, which creates a bit of a problem. So you wiggle that, and that actually allows you to, you know, position the blazing sword in his hand. So what you do is you take this, you put that right in there, and you got the little post that does have a magnetic section. So you slide that in right there. You can feel it grabbing it. And I'm going to leave this off for the time being because I'm going to save the sword reveal for a minute. So let me then bring in the green line. And again, same kind of detail. It is a little bit different looking though. You got a really gorgeous face with some nice eye detail in there. Gorgeous teeth, great paint on there. You can see some extra scuffs that all of them have. The number 3 on there. You got the different leg details all throughout. You got little like accents with some gold throughout the entire thing. Now this one, unlike the red line, does not have a moving mouth. So all you do with this is you very carefully spin that around to the side, and again, magnetically it grabs it so you can feel it pull in, and there you have basically his kind of torso done. Now as I was saying, he does come with a blazing sword. This is amazingly detailed. I mean, taking a look, I want to get real close. You can see amazing amount of detail on there. Great paint variation as well. You got some kind of wear and stuff right down there, but gorgeous. And then as you come down, like I said, it's a blazing sword, so they put in this paint detail that goes throughout the entire thing, giving it a glowing sort of look. And then I love on the inside, great tech detail on that. It's going to want to focus here in the back, so stop. You see just gorgeous detail in the kind of thickness of the sword itself. And this is really big. I mean, here's my hand. I mean, you could hold this if you really wanted to, and it's like a little miniature dagger kind of thing. Now, one thing that I do want to say is that it is meant to go like that. What you can do, though, is display it up like so. Now, the problem, though, is these little prong pieces kind of bump into the back of the wrist, so you can't really put it straight down. I mean, you kind of can, I guess, but it's not meant for it. I mean, typically you're gonna go like that if you're gonna elevate it, but you can if you really wanted to. The magnet is fairly strong, and it just sits there. So if you wanted to have him kind of holding it in a, you know, victorious kind of pose, you could do something like that. And then conversely, because these are magnetically sort of locked in and the post is the same, you could, if you really wanted to, put that in there like that in some kind of like of a victory sort of thing. It's not the way that it's meant to go, so I don't necessarily recommend it, but it's possible to do. So put that in there. The main purpose, though, with this, again, that magnet is really stiff, is to have him kind of spearing this into the ground and then just standing over. Now the problem is the little tip of the blade doesn't have anywhere, and you can't see it, but it doesn't have anywhere specifically on the base, as I'm coming down to try and show that it's meant to go into. You got these little craters and everything that you can kind of move it into, but I don't see anywhere that it is meant to go. If there is supposed to be a specific spot, I don't know it, but you can just have it there. I kind of wish that there was a little indent somewhere there, just because if Voltron is going to be sitting here and he's going to spear that into the ground, it's going to create some kind of hole here. So I feel they could have done that. It doesn't take away from the piece. It still looks really cool, but I think that's something that they could have added to it. And then coming back up to the top, rotating this all the way around. Again, I have to be careful because my little turntable is motorized, so it doesn't freely rotate. You come around here to the back, and you have his wings. Now again, amazing detail on this. One part that I absolutely fell in love with is, again, on the intersection, you can see some amazing tech detail all the way throughout it, giving it a sense of thickness, giving a sense of there's something underneath it. That's amazing. Both sides have it. I love that little tiny bit of detail, subtle little pieces that work so nicely. Then you just take this, plug that again, magnetic, so it locks in there nicely. Same amount of detail on the other wing. I just love that detail throughout. It's so amazing. So they didn't need to put that, but that's incredible. And then again, you put that right there, and you have his wings. And then finally, I know it's taken a long time, spinning this around, we have Voltron's head. Classic, gorgeous, iconic. I mean, everything that you could want to think of to say about this head, it has it. You got the nice blue, the yellow eyes. You can see it's a little bit stylized in the mouth area, but works for it. Comes out of the actual black lion mouth. So you got that great detail with that black lion's kind of nose and everything there. Classic yellow eyes. You got gorgeous paint detail on the yellow of his ears. Come around to the back. You can see amazing amount of scuffage on there as well, even the top. Great detail with it. One thing I want to make sure that I show this off. On the inside here, hopefully you can see it, little yellow or little red bits throughout there. Just extra paint detail, giving it some extra life. One other piece that I did not even know that this did it, that gives it a little bit more life, you got a little switch right underneath here, and that is gorgeous. The yellow of the lion's eyes light up. The yellow of Voltron's on his eyes actually lights up. Gorgeous yellow color. It's very uniform. It's hard to come across on the actual camera, but it's very, very uniform in person. So it's not like certain hot spots in it. I mean, it works perfectly. Now, I'm not going to leave it on, but that is bright and gorgeous. And then finally, to complete it, there is Voltron, the legendary defender of the universe, fully assembled in top to bottom, looking really magnificent. I mean, I keep saying it, but I am genuinely impressed and blown away by the presence of this. When I saw it in gray, I was impressed. When I saw it in color, I was even more impressed. Top to bottom, Sideshow here has absolutely nailed it. But as I said, amazing detail throughout the entire thing, all the way across, the paint, the sculpting, everything. Wonderfully done. I'm amazed. I really can't think of anything that they could have done in terms of the overall look to make this guy look better. I mean, it just fits the character so nicely and so beautifully, even though they've taken a little bit of a creative license on it by making him a little more, kind of in line with the way that Voltron looks now, with the more streamlined look of the character. It's still beautifully done. I have gotten a lot of pieces from Sideshow, and in terms of what we have here, this really might be the best. As I said, every single lion has been beautifully done and given a level of detail and attention that each of those individual characters should be given. What you are staring at is, without question, the legendary defender of the universe. And I could not be happier with how it turned out. So, all that being said, if Voltron here is a piece that you'd like to add to your collection, he is available right now at Sideshow Collectibles. While yes, it is a very expensive piece, to me it is a piece of art and well worth every single penny that you pay for this. But the amazing thing about Sideshow is they do have FlexPay, which allows you to basically put this on layaway. And each month you can do monthly payments, and when you're done, get this amazing piece sent to you. So yeah, while it is expensive, that is a route that I would absolutely recommend. And to get that process going, all you have to do is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to Sideshow where you can check out availability on this, as well as the rest of their wide range of collectibles. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video, to please hit that thumbs up button. It goes a long way towards helping me out, and I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. It's free, and you'll get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you'll never miss out on a future review of mine. Or hey, if you're already subscribed, with all the different changes that YouTube is constantly making, now more than ever, it's important to make sure that you get those email notifications. We all know that subscription box thing isn't always reliable. So do me a real quick favor and click on that little bell right below this video and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. And as always, until next time, be excellent to each other.